In the headlines, thousands to be employed in the hospitality sector and GIS travels across the country as Dominicans show patriotism through Kudme. Hello and welcome to National Focus. I'm Prisca Julien. Stay tuned for details of the headline stories and others coming up. Welcome back. Hundreds of Dominicans are expected to be gainfully employed in the coming years in the hospitality industry. This was confirmed by the Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit as he addressed thousands at the 2018 Independence Day Parade of uniformed groups on November 3rd. The Honorable Prime Minister made particular reference to major hotel establishments currently under construction.
Hundreds, indeed thousands of Dominicans will find permanent work over the next 5 to 10 years in the hospitality sector. Starting as early as mid-2019, we will have the opening of our very own Jungle Bay Resort, and this will be followed soon after by the world-renowned Kempinski, Marriott, and other international brands.
The Dominica leader noted, though there must be a workforce which is ready to deliver service at 4- and 5-star levels.
I believe the time has come for Dominica to fast-track the establishment of a modern hospitality training institute, whereby not only unemployed and underemployed persons can go for training, but also where existing government and private sector employees desirous of pursuing a new career or second career can also access high-quality training in the various disciplines of the hospitality sector. I will very shortly be taking before the Cabinet of Ministers a paper which would provide for leave of absence to be granted to existing government employees desirous of pursuing training in hospitality services, whether it be hotel management, food and beverage, housekeeping, landscaping, engineering, or administration. I want for Dominicans to be ready and qualified to assume senior and managerial positions in these new hotels that will be opening.
Government is also prepared to put measures in place to facilitate public officers who intend to pursue hospitality-related training.
Therefore, in the weeks ahead, we shall be consulting regional and international agencies with a view to establishing a national training facility for persons desirous of working in the vital tourism and hospitality sectors. This venture shall again be funded fully with proceeds from the Citizenship by Investment program.
The Honorable Minister for Information, Kelva Daru, has congratulated news editor at Dominica Broadcasting Corporation, Curtis Matthew, recipient of the Meritorious Service Award on November 3rd. The Honorable Minister, speaking with GIS News on Monday, says the award is well deserved.
I've known Curtis for a very long time. In fact, even while I was not the minister, I knew Curtis personally because of his involvement at the time as a sports reporter. And I believe Curtis has evolved over the years. He has matured over the years as one of the leading journalists in Dominica. And I'm very pleased and I'm very happy for him and his achievement. And I continue to wish him well. I believe he has excelled and he has set a path for young journalists to follow in the country. And I'm hoping that with this achievement, it will only allow him to look for greater goals to come. And of course, on behalf of myself and the entire ministry, I want to extend our profound congratulations to Curtis Matthew on his achievement of receiving this Meritorious Award.
Also this news time, the Honorable Minister for Commerce, Enterprise and Small Business Development, Rosalind Paul, says Dominican nationals living overseas plays a significant role in the development of Dominica's economy. The Honorable Minister was addressing a forum organized by government where the Honorable Prime Minister and cabinet members met with Dominicans living overseas on Wednesday.
You always provide remittances for the well-being of families that you have left behind. And in 2017, remittances was over $58 million. And that is US dollars, over 58 million US dollars. You also assist the economy, like now when you return home for festive season, and you continue to spend. A few of you, though, or some of you, have offered your skills and talents to assist the country, but we encourage you to do even more. We believe that out there among our Dominicans, we have serious intellectual capital and capacity to think outside of the box. So we urge you to use that to your advantage and to our advantage.
The Honorable Minister revealed that persons living in the diaspora have also invested heavily by starting small businesses, creating employment opportunities for many Dominicans.
Some of you have invested in small businesses and even medium-sized enterprises, major ones too, like the Jungle Bay. As you heard Mr. Sam Raphael said, he didn't know he was called a diasporan, but he was. And he has returned home and invested in his country. Others too have done so, and later today there'll be groundbreaking of Tranquility in Salisbury. This again is an initiative of someone who has been residing in the diaspora. We also have smaller enterprises like Twapiton Building Materials, who came in after Hurricane Maria. So quite a few persons who reside in the diaspora have been coming back home to make investments. And what we want to do today is to continue, to encourage you to continue to do that.
She noted that government continues to provide incentives for persons interested in starting a small business, especially those living overseas wanting to invest.
The government continues to create the environment. Government offers a number of incentives, concessions in terms of, for example, duty-free, waivers, tax holidays, and we also have the Invest Dominica that facilitates investors, and that would include you who have the interest. So we encourage you to take up the opportunities. We also have the Ministry of Commerce. We are here for providing technical support, business advisory. So take up the opportunities and help us, especially as we are moving or we are on the journey to ensuring that Dominica becomes the first climate resilience country. Please embrace the vision as a Dominican, and I would urge you to continue to be the advocates and public relation agents for Dominica.
Honorable Paul thanked the Dominicans living overseas for the love and concern shown after the passage of Tropical Storm Erica in 2015 and Hurricane Maria in 2017. She said the outpouring of assistance Dominicans received from families overseas proves that the diaspora is willing to assist in times of disasters.
My dear Dominican friends, your role in humanitarian response has been tremendous, and this was very significant and very visible post-Tropical Storm Erica and Hurricane Maria. Your contribution as individuals and through collective efforts was indeed tremendous, and I want to take this opportunity to say thanks for all you did to help bring relief after these disasters.
The Honorable Minister for National Security, Rayburn Blackmore, has described the just concluded independence celebrations as remarkable. The Honorable Minister, speaking to GIS News on Monday, noted that the celebrations come just over 1 year after the devastation caused by Hurricane Maria.
The spectacle of it all was the level of participation of people living on the island and Dominicans living overseas coming back. And the environment in which it was celebrated was very civil, and there's a very remarkable version coming out from most of the people I spoke with as to the perception of Dominica after Hurricane Maria. And all of them I have spoken with, because some of them are still on island, were actually elated to have seen the kind of progress we have made, bearing in mind the kind of devastation we suffered. And we have to continue keeping up the tempo in terms of trying to advance our country, and we can only do that by coming together.
You're watching National Focus. More when we return. Welcome back. On Monday, November 5th, Dominica recognized its annual island-wide activity known as Community Day of Service, or Journée Coup de Mer. Journée Coup de Mer is an integral traditional part of Dominica's independence celebrations, where community members come together to engage in community building projects. Traditionally, Coup de Mer is the support given by community members to each other on individual or community projects without pay, and usually involves community cookouts on the project. It is a pillar of the society and how many communities across the island developed in the early days, serving both the infrastructural development and the strengthening of ownership and community ties. Coup de mer is a Creole word that originated from the French term a coup de mer, which in times past meant two things. It meant a swift attack that relies on speed and surprise to accomplish its objective in a single blow, or a helping hand. It is the second term, a helping hand, which has for hundreds of years been a Dominican tradition. Every 4th of November, Dominica recognizes this day when Dominicans come together for community and nation building. GIS News took to the communities across the island to catch up with the numerous ongoing projects. GIS begins in the north of the island, where a road rehabilitation project was being undertaken in the village of Tukari, but the early morning showers posed a problem, hindering villagers from coming out in large numbers. In the community of Savanpai, villagers gathered to reinforce the fencing around the Savanpai basketball court. The fencing around the court was destroyed by the passage of Hurricane Maria, and the villagers hoped to fully fence the area by the end of the day. The villagers of Tatan undertook a road rehabilitation project to improve road access in that area. Work commenced with the participation of villagers, anticipating completion by the end of the day. In the village of Penville, the Honorable Prime Minister and other villagers were hard at work building a step for a pathway leading to the homes of elderly in the area called Galba. He took time off to share details of the ongoing project in that community.
Well, we're here helping out project taking place in Penville, building some steps to improve access to some homes, especially some senior citizens living beyond the steps. Obviously, the rain kept us back from starting early. We had rain up until after 10. So as the day goes by, people are joining. So we see a bigger group joining. We also have other projects in the village, but because of the rain, the conditions are not conducive for doing any major work.
Chairperson of the Penville Village Council, Frances Alexis, says she is pleased with the community's participation in this year's Community Day of Service.
Well, it turned out good so far. The persons who are there, they can handle the project. There are things that they can do. But I believe more people. That's enough. It's early still. Because of the rain, everybody stayed home, but I believe they will come in a little bit.
Another project was planned for the village of Penville, a road rehabilitation project, but the intermittent weather conditions made it impossible to get that project going. Alexis is hopeful that all the villagers can come together on the following Saturday to undertake this road rehabilitation project.
They agreed to do the project on Saturday. Everybody will turn out as long as the weather is okay. It can be very messy. But, so as long as the weather is okay, on Saturday.
The turnout in the community of Vacans was a massive one as villagers came together to rehabilitate one of the roads leading to a historic site and tourist attraction. This road is located in O2 Vacas.
In Vacas we have two projects. One improving the drainage to one of the bays, the O2 Bay, which has serious historical and contemporary importance. It's a major ecotourism site. It also was a location for the filming of Pirates of the Caribbean.
In close proximity to that project, GIS News caught up with some villagers cleaning and beautifying Livingstone Street as part of the Community Day of Service project. Children, young adults and elderly joined in the effort of planting a tree and making Dominica green again.
Today we are cleaning, ensuring that we beautify the place, and that is something we usually do. We don't only wait for today to clean up, that is something we usually do, but today because we want everybody to be engaged in doing something, we organize. So we're cooking food, persons have contributed to the drinks and so everybody is lending a hand. As you can see, we have children, the working class, everybody is involved in the project. Nobody stays home, that is, everybody is involved from since morning. We braved the weather and the rain and we are all out today.
Parents and villagers came together to clean up the Baroness Patricia Scotland Primary School in Vekas. The school was severely damaged after the passage of Hurricane Maria, and currently students are being housed at the Vekas Pentecostal Church. The workers of the National Employment Program in Vekas worked tirelessly to ensure that the school will be ready to house the students sometime this week. Work was also being done to re-roof the shed where the students normally gather for eating.
We are the primary school. We are seeking to get our students to reoccupy the school after it was severely damaged and destroyed by the hurricane. So we clean up the yard, the schoolyard. We'll be covering the school shed, the lunch shed. Our children have their lunch during school days. And also fixing up the plumbing so that because the classrooms are set, also the environment is conducive. So all in all, some of the happening, and we're pressing on.
GIS News moved to the community of Paybush, where work was taking place near the recently rehabilitated Paybush Primary School. Drain works were on the cards to be completed for the Community Day of Service. GIS News spoke with Deputy Chairperson of the Paybush Dodan Village Council, Bryson Williams.
We just did that road, so right now the drainage kind of posing a problem because the water is like going all over. So we decided to take this money to like do the proper drainage to go down to the main road. As you can see, all the guys are there. We just try to get it started. We put the pump up together, and then we're gonna do some casting in about like half an hour, and then we're gonna get that going down as far as we can reach for the day.
Also in that part of the community of Dodan, a box culvert was being built to make access to the community easier.
In Dodan, I think they're doing, there's a culvert, there's a water drainage that's very like, it's bad. So we asked the guys and them to do some backfilling and some culverts so that the classes so they can make like a bypass for the people in the late one going up to whereas people know where Nimi lives, yeah, they have difficulties passing there, so that's what they're doing right now. She called me this morning and she asked for the material. We told them that the materials are already available, so I guess she's on the other end doing her part in Dodan.
In the Southwest District, in sister communities of Scotshead, Soufriere and Galion, GIS News met ongoing road rehabilitation, drainage and pathway paving. GIS spoke with representatives of the village councils who supervise the activities for those villages. In Soufriere, the chairman of the village council, Wifas Jules, gave updates on the ongoing drain repair and construction.
The idea is to improve the conditions there. As you can see, it's pretty much close to the beach, and also leading towards the Bubble Beach, which is a pretty much popular area. So you have people coming to that area and it's not really attractive, so you want to improve the conditions. And then it's just the first part of it. It's just to, right now we're going to box the drains, and then maybe not today, because it has to set first, and then after we get somebody to do the slabbing of it after.
The enlarging and boxing of the drain will allow for the management of the volume of water in that area, particularly in time of rain. Members of the beautification team under the National Employment Project also got in on a community effort to ensure the beaches were properly cleaned, especially for the expected arrival of tourists. And from the beach cleanup, the ladies joined in on the other drain construction project just a few feet away.
Also, as you spoke to the ladies on the beach, we can never, and also because tomorrow's cruise ship, they realized that the conditions on the beach cannot remain like that because we have to make it pretty much attractive for the tourists coming tomorrow. So the ladies decided to do some work on the beach as well too.
Anne-Marie Williams from the beach cleanup gave details.
It serves the community good because we doesn't want strangers to come from abroad and see that our beach is untidy. We know that Hurricane Maria passed, but saying that we have to do what we have to do. We cannot just sit and watch. From the beach side, we are going to fall into concrete. Community health service, we do what we have to do. It's one family and one love.
In the neighboring community of Scott's Head, Village Councillor Conrad Caesar spoke on the construction of a village pathway that he says, when completed, will be of great benefit to those residing in that area.
So when the council that came in as a new council, I take that opportunity to make a round in the community and look where we can have a community of service for project of community of service. And I looked at area like need serious attention, and I used the community of service to build that road better for the people that walk in there. Some people get in high falls when they walk in with their high heels to go into church or work, and especially if rain falling, they slide in that area. And then I decided we'll take that project for community of service. I take it to the council, I take it on the table of the council, and then we decide about it, and then it was okay with the council members.
Caesar says though the project will serve for the good of many, he is disappointed with the turnout of the people of the community and encouraged community members to come on board with community projects going forward.
Our community service project don't have nothing to do with what takes place in government affairs, who receive, who don't receive. Let us come together as one community with the council to work. Tomorrow they're going to say the council is not doing anything. The council is not looking for what they need to do. They're not making wrongs to see what is necessary to do in the community. Where is the support of our people? Before we have community day of service and we have project to do. There's a lot of people come for Kudme. We have people cooking for them today. We have the drinks there for them. And where are they?
In Gallia, a road construction project was well underway when the cameras of GIS visited. The councillor overseeing that project was Merlin Lewis.
Today we are doing a road leading to a lady by the name of Geraldine. This is a project which started 2 years ago, but because of Hurricane Maria we could not have continued last year. So today we are here to see how much we can do.
Another road rehabilitation project was also ongoing in the main street of Gallia.
Presently, we also have another small project ongoing higher up in the community. So we kind of sort of split those who desire to help today. But the total cost, actually, we are working with 4 yards of tarish and also 60 bags of cement.
Material for those projects was provided by the government through local government division. Another community in the southwest of the island where community members joined efforts for realizing a community enhancing project was Point Michel.
The village council gave us the cement and the tarish, and we are trying to help ourselves to do it because that's where we pass in because our food would break on our children. And we try to help ourselves to do it because it was very untidy. And we get support from the village council with the cement and some drinks and the food. So we are enjoying ourselves and is very happy to do it.
In the south of the island, the Honourable Member of Parliament for the Petite Savane constituency, Kenneth Daru, spoke of community projects which were underway in his constituency for Community Day of Service.
In the store, next Pichelin, we would be engaging in a white goods cleanup. Okay, so maybe if you're lucky, in fact, when I was passing through, the truck was just heading out of Pichelin with another full load of white goods, appliances. And then if you stop in the small hamlet of store, you will see that they also have another small road project going on in the area of Point Carib. We had a group of families who have some 30-something acres of land in an area called, I'm trying to remember the name of the area in Point Carib area, that they were engaging in the construction of some steps and a pathway towards that area. Bagatelle, we're also doing some drainage and road works in the area of Cadbois, right next to the Roman Catholic Church and Fonseca. We had 2 or 3 small projects, road works, drainage, etc. in Fonseca.
Honourable Daru says most of the projects in his area are infrastructural projects since the beautification teams under the National Employment Programme consistently ensure that the area is well taken care of.
a number of exciting projects are happening, mainly concrete works though. And I tell people concrete works because while we're making an effort to do what they call clean-up beautification, in building, in an attempt rather to build the world's first climate resilient nation, we have a very rigorous and efficient NEP grouping up in the 37 constituency. We have NEP workers in Bagatelle, Fort Saint-Jean, Pointe-Carré, Pichelin. So along the road you will see that the highways, the drains and everything, the shrubs is well maintained. So this year we decided to concentrate on a few little road projects, drainage projects, etc.
Chairman of the Bellevue Village Council, Cyprian Defoe, commented on one of the projects in Bellevue.
All materials is on hand. What we need is to complete the job either manually or mechanically, because there is a lot of tree trunk and debris to remove so that we can get a proper storm drain going, concrete storm drain going to prevent erosion on the other side of the road, and that is coming on real well.
Honorable Dario, pleased with the turnout of the community members, attributed the involvement to the rekindled spirit of Kudme resulting from passage of Hurricane Maria, a disaster which forced Dominicans to lift each other through extremely difficult circumstances.
It's very encouraging as a member of parliament and government to see this rekindled spirit of patriotism in this our 40th anniversary. I think a lot of it would be indebted to Hurricane Maria and of course Erica to a certain extent, and Hurricane Maria. We are in the first days before government and other agencies kicked in, that neighbors had to depend on one another for food, share whatever little they had, etc., comfort. So I think this has carried on into the year, and I think at this our 40th anniversary, I mean, they say life begins at 40. It's refreshing to see that people still have that sense of patriotism and the spirit of Kudme is well and alive here.
He says the efforts of community members for this special day and other days add to rebuilding Dominica as a resilient nation.
Every shovel of dirt that is removed, okay, whether it's today or any other day, every shrub, every piece of debris, that is picked up, every piece of garbage that is picked up along the road, every garbage, every trash that is not thrown out of a window and kept in your bag until you reach home, okay, it lends to building resilience, because we would have seen during the passages of these weather events that a lot of the flooding was done because of blockage of waterways, and a lot of it was, that it was due to debris, sometimes appliances and all sorts of stuff, tires and everything that people would just randomly throw into these waterways. So, as I said, every shovel that is picked up, every inch of concrete that is poured into concrete in the waterways to control the waterways, every nail that is put on, okay, in securing your roof, whatever little that is done at the household level, community, of course, and national level, okay, every little bit helps in the building resilience. Yeah.
GIS News will bring you more on projects on the north, west and east of the island in a subsequent newscast. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS on facebook.com/GIS News Dominica and follow us on Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I'm Prisca Julien. Thanks for watching.